feel so privileged each time I chant the Torah like I did yesterday morning, bringing communities closer to sacred teaching. I'm reading from the opening of the book of Deuteronomy, this week's Torah portion. Moses is here telling the people that God said, "See, I placed the land at your disposal. Go take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to them and to their heirs after them." At the end of this week, I'm still disgusted by the killing of Ada al-Hathalin by the terrorist Jewish settler Yinon Levi. I had the honor of meeting Ada, this unforgettable, gentle, and resilient Palestinian father, teacher, leader in his tiny, scrappy village of Khair a couple of years ago. The words I chanted yesterday would seem to empower the despicable likes of Levi, or even members of the government preaching conquest through starvation. But I take a step back from the surface meaning. I review in my head my academic understanding of how the Torah came to be, and I begin to listen with empathy to the voices of the 6th century BCE scribes who likely authored this text. These religious leaders were exiled to Babylon in 586 after experiencing the destruction of their beloved capital city, Jerusalem. Chisel in hand, responding to their devastation, they created a powerful origin story, weaving together inherited traditions that were aimed to motivate the exiles that perhaps one day they could return home. 47 years later, they did. But the return to Zion was not the conquest described in their new Torah narrative, but it's something found elsewhere in the Bible. There, because of the tolerant benevolence of the Persian king Cyrus the Great, who seems to have believed his empire's strength would be greater when its diverse peoples could build temples to their respective deities in their ancestral homes, Ezra the scribe was allowed to lead exiles originally from Judah back home to Jerusalem to create a new society shaped by a holy scripture. So as the product of a traumatized community of exiles, I'm not surprised they created an origin story that imagines their prehistory in the land through a divinely sanctioned conquest. But I also see that in the biblical corpus they created, there are also stories and laws revealing on some level their belief that neighbors in the same land could live side by side. Cyrus's vision of tolerance had an effect. Today, in this land of mixed ethnicities and religions, I know more than a few emerging leaders, very moral people, protesting, galvanizing, and also mourning in the present, but also laying the groundwork for a painful, necessary process for restoration and reparation in the future. That's why I'm still here. My faith in this land remains strong. We don't need another Cyrus. Our destiny depends on a diverse and righteous coalition emerging from within. Shabbat Shalom.